I believe in Lagos.
I believe in opportunities.
Mo ní ìgbàgbọ́ nínú òwò tó lérè. I believe in youth empowerment, jare.
I believe in big business.
I believe Lagos is incredible. Together, we can build the Lagos of our dreams. I am Akinwumi Ambode.
Vote Akinwumi Ambode for Governor of Lagos State.
Every story appears ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is a story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello there, welcome to CoreTV Primetime News. I am Gift or Gete. In our major story, the Independent National Electoral Commission meets with leadership of all registered political parties on its preparations for next month's elections. Also in this program, Lagos State Governor Babatunde Fashola vows to vote with his temporary voter card at the February 2015 elections. Popular Pan-Yoruba Social Cultural Group, Afenifere endorses President Goodluck Jonathan for a second term in office. Outside Nigeria, bullets hit passenger jet operated by Dubai Aviation Corporation on landing at Baghdad Airport in Iraq. Good to have you. Stay tuned with us. Now details of the headlines and other stories. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has met with the leadership of all registered parties with a view to keeping them informed on preparations for next month's elections. The Commission also used the opportunity to listen to concerns of party leaders in the run-up to the elections. Many of them hailed INEC's preparations but wanted to be categorical in rejecting calls for elections to be postponed. Pius Samuel has the report.
It is one in a series of meetings called by INEC to keep party leaders abreast of its preparations for the February polls. But this time, INEC says it will not only update the politicians, but will also listen to their areas of concern with a view to ensuring the credibility of the 2015 polls.
We would like to continue to appeal to all stakeholders to join hands with us in addressing these challenges, in particular urging Nigerians to be patient with the delays in the distribution of the cards, but to also remain resolute in coming out to collect their permanent voters' cards. We believe that the use of the permanent voters' cards will go a long way to improve the integrity of the electoral process.
Now, the party leaders here are keen on making their displeasure known over the spate of hate speech and violence that have erupted in some parts of the country. After condemning the violent acts, the Inter-Party Advisory Council threatened legal action against any party found to have breached the Abuja Accord on non-violence.
We want to advise strongly that day-to-day distribution of this particular PVC should be made known to the Nigerian public to give them confidence that INEC is on the right track. The Inter-Party Advisory Council have also set up a committee to monitor the activities of the campaign going on, and we will not fail to initiate a court action against any erring political party, as was contained in the Code of Conduct and by extension the Abuja Peace Accord.
Some of the party leaders expressed confidence in INEC's ability to deliver on its promise, but also raised concern over agitations in some quarters for the elections to be postponed.
We want to work with INEC. We understand the limitations of INEC, but political parties are tremendous mobilizing agents. This election must go on. There is no going back on this election. It must go on the 14th of February and on the 20th of February.
INEC also used the occasion to reaffirm its call on all eligible and registered voters to collect their permanent voters' cards from designated centers across the country. Pius Samuel, CoreTV News, Abuja.
A group of youths under the banner of Nigerian Youths for Credible Elections on Tuesday held a peaceful march in Abuja to demand that general elections be held as scheduled. Members of the group say there is no basis for any individual or group to demand for the elections to be moved to a later date. The protesters took their message to the Secretariat of the All Progressives Congress, where they maintained that a postponement will only lead to chaos and anarchy.
Nigerians have been waiting so long and have endured so much. And time has come where we really want to see change happen in our country. And we cannot afford to hear anything short of February 14, 2015. That is why we're gathered here today, and to tell the world that we want elections to hold. We feel that a postponement of this election will cause more political instability, there will be apathy towards general elections, and we don't want that. All we need to do is just to come out and vote. That's all we want, and let us vote for the right candidate so that we can take Nigeria to a better place.
As Nigerians continue to complain about the shoddy approach of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, towards the distribution of the permanent voter cards, Lagos State Governor Babátúndé Fáṣọlá has vowed to vote with his temporary voter card at the February elections. He, however, added that this will see the light of day if INEC failed to produce his permanent voter card before the February general elections.
We are talking about PVC, yes. I don't have PVC. I have the temporary one. And with or without PVC, I'm going to vote. That's their responsibility. Let me be clear. The right to vote when you are 18 is not a gift from any government. It's your entitlement as a citizen. The obligation of government is to make sure that you are able to exercise that right. So nobody is doing us a favor, whether you bring PVC or TVC. The important thing is that you must ensure that we vote. That's your duty.
Less than 3 weeks to the presidential election, Lagos State Governor Babátúndé Fáṣọlá is confident that APC presidential candidate Muhammad Buhari will emerge victorious at the polls. Fáṣọlá stated this at the 2,800 days account of stewardship of his administration in office. Abiola Oluwule's story is presented from our studios.
Residents across Lagos gathered to listen to 2,800 days account of stewardship of the Fáṣọlá administration. After highlighting his accomplishments across different sectors of the economy in the last 100 days, Fáṣọlá called on the people to support the candidature of Buhari at the February 14th presidential polls. He, however, added that the party is sure of victory.
They are preparing to hand over. That's what is in their mind. That's not what they intended to say, but that's what is going on in their team. They see that it's over. He said May 29, handover day. is sacrosanct. That's what's going on inside their camp. They see it's over. That's why they use the word handover. I was asleep. But it reveals the underbelly. So, and this is why now all of what they are trying to do is that let's shift this thing over. This is the party that has been campaigning for over 1 year.
Fashola also used the platform to deny claims by the Lagos PDP governorship candidate Jimmy Agbaje that the state is underfunding education.
Alarm when I hear a candidate hiding under an umbrella, seeking to take this job, and displaying so much frightening ignorance when he says that we are budgeting 3% for education in Lagos State. Although when I pointed out his error, his script writers have written a new version for him, saying now that what they meant was that it was with primary education. Ladies and gentlemen, he is still wrong.
As the hands of the clock move towards the 2015 general elections, Nigerians are praying fervently for free, fair and credible polls.
The campaign train of President Goodluck Jonathan moved to Plateau State late Monday, and his supporters had to wait over 10 hours from dawn to dusk to see him. The grumblings on the part of some of the people that despite giving Jonathan the highest votes of over 1 million from the entire North in the 2011 elections, there is no meaningful federal presence in the state. The supporters had to leave in droves before the arrival of the president at 6:30. The report.
The issue of African time again played out in Plateau State as hundreds of supporters who were expecting the PDP presidential candidate to address them in the early hours of Monday had to wait for over 10 hours to hear him. Those who could not tolerate the long wait left as the Rangpam Stadium, venue of the campaign exercise, became almost empty. The apology of the PDP chairman in the state, Raymond Dabo, and that of the president seemed not enough to assuage the feelings of the already tired crowd.
Because of the love they have for you, because of the love they have for all the candidates we are presenting on the plateau, and because of the love they have for the people of Plateau State and for the party, they have been here, Mr. President, 6 a.m. Mr. President, you are welcome to the gateway of the North Central Zone. We did it for you in 2011. We shall do it better in 2015.
The former governor of the state, Joshua Dariye, gave the visiting president hope that Plateau will vote for him en masse because the state has been a stronghold of the ruling party since the inception of the current democratic dispensation.
Anybody has set his soul on Plateau will always be a winner. Many years ago, the action group came here. When they had crisis, it was resolved on Plateau. And many great Nigerians who have got here have always been winners. Mr. President, tonight, I assure you, we did it in 2011. And I have a very funny background. Having been a founding member of the PDP, I later on went to Labour Party. But we repeated that feat in 2011. Having seen the need to consolidate on the game, we came back to PDP and we will vote you again overwhelmingly. By the grace of God, Plateau is PDP, PDP is good luck. This good luck will carry Nigeria everywhere. South-south, southeast, southwest, northwest. Just put your trust in God. I have always said as a governor, there is nowhere in the world where monuments is built in honor of critics. We will not be deterred. God will help us. Nigeria, we are winning. Congratulations, Mr. President.
Beyond the apology that was given at the rally, there was no explanation for lateness of the Jonathan's campaign team to the state.
The Yoruba socio-political group Afenifere has endorsed President Goodluck Jonathan's bid for a second term in office. It gave its endorsement at the meeting of its members with the president at the residence of Afenifere leader Reuben Fasaranti in Akure on Tuesday. Spokesman for the group, Yinka Odumakin, told reporters after the meeting that the endorsement was predicated on the President's commitment to implementing the recommendations of report of the National Conference in 2014.
Ensuring that these decisions reached at this conference are well implemented as a centenary legacy for Nigeria. Just like we remember Lugard for amalgamation, we remember Jonathan for national integration and non-federalism if this is fully implemented. And finally, we call on the ministerial committee set up on the implementation to ensure that their recommendations include that decisions of this conference should be tested at a referendum where Nigeria will have a final say on a new constitution for Nigeria so I can move Nigeria along to federalism. Now,
the People's Democratic Movement has denied claims that former Vice President Atiku Abubakar influenced its decision to adopt Muhammad Buhari as its presidential candidate. PDM Chairman Bashir Ibrahim said this shortly after presenting the party's resolution to the All Progressives Congress candidate. He explained that the party's position was informed by Buhari's track record in public service.
Because the entire process of nomination of candidates had just been concluded. Therefore, unless that process is concluded, we will not know who is the presidential candidate of any other political party. So now that we know that APC has nominated and INEC has accepted the nomination of General Muhammadu Buhari, we know he is truly a candidate in this election. Therefore, we decided it is timely now for us to throw our lot with him because we think he's a better candidate.
What we have said summarize the problem of this country. You have looked thoroughly and you found out this year, 2015, whichever way politicians and the elite want to look at it, is another time or watershed in our political system. If we get it wrong this time and allow the PDP to go again for the next 4 years, this country is going to be in trouble. Right now, with the unfortunate event of the tumbling oil price, the economy is really in a mess.
It's CoreTV Primetime News. Stakeholders brainstorm on role of police ahead February elections. Find out more after this timeout. Stay with us.
From the west to the east, the north, and to the south of our country, the APC with their governors have been busy building a better life for Nigerians. The APC with their governors have built more roads, schools, bridges, hospitals, universities, and independent power plants, generated more internal revenue, and created more jobs than the rest of the Federation combined. Now, imagine what we could do when we are the federal government.
Vote for change! Vote APC! APC! Change!
Your account is too low for this call.
Never get stranded with MTN Extra Time. You can now borrow airtime and pay back at your next recharge. Dial *606# now to enjoy the new MTN Extra Time.
MTN, everywhere you go.
Welcome back. Good to have you. Stay tuned. It's CoreTV Primetime News. Now a recap of some of our major headlines. The Independent National Electoral Commission meets with leadership of all registered political parties on its preparations for next month's elections. Lagos State Governor Babatunde Fashola vows to vote with his temporary voter card at the February 2015 elections. Popular Pan-Yoruba Social-Cultural Group, Afenifere endorses President Goodluck Jonathan for a second term in office. Don't forget that you can also reach us on our social media platforms. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/CoreTV News. On Twitter at CoreTV News NG. And on YouTube, youtube.com/CoreTV News. We continue with the rest of the stories. As political campaigns take its full course in Oyo State, the People's Democratic Party governorship candidate Teslim Falari has called on the people of Oyo to vote for him and see unemployment and poor standard of living as a thing of the past. Motayo Alo filed in this report.
The chant Tesi Ojue in this context means vote for Teslim Falari and was echoed by his supporters at all the campaign locations he has visited so far in the state. For these supporters and residents, the PDP governorship candidate has proved himself worthy.
We urge every single person to vote, and he does not have any smear or any scandal attached to his name. I think it is time to give the young ones a chance.
People should please be as peaceful as they can be. Violence only begets violence. Nobody gains from a violent environment.
The Hausas are ready to work for Senator Teslim Falari because he has done well and he deserves to rule this state.
In education-wise, the situation is so worse that when you go to secondary school or primary school, you see our children sitting down on the barefoot ground. For learning, we do everything will satisfy us as educational-wise and in economy. That man has been sent by God Almighty to come and change your state. You will see what will happen.
Some critics of Falari in the state say he didn't perform well as a senator and cannot trust him with the governorship seat. Falari was, however, quick to clear the air.
The airport in Ibadan, the 10-kilometer road in Olubadan Estate, 3 health centers, one in Olode village in Olioli, one in Ipade, in Akele, and another one in Oyo West. Rural electrification. We also helped a lot of youths secure jobs in federal government agencies like the customs, immigration, prison service, even in the armed forces. We did our best.
He advised his supporters to get their permanent voter cards ahead of the February elections if they must bring into reality their wish for him as the next governor of the state.
The oil prices have collapsed. Everybody knows that. So we will be relying on the private PPP. We would also be looking to diversifying the economy, looking at agriculture as a way of expanding the economy, creating jobs.
His supporters are also relying on the antecedent, which is yet to favor a governor returning to office after one term. How this will eventually turn out depends on the outcome of the February polls. Omotayo Alo, CoreTV News, Ibadan.
Individuals and groups from the southern Kaduna zone on Tuesday thronged the Sanga local government headquarters to witness the campaign flag-off of Kaduna State Governor Mokhtar Yero. Addressing the crowd, the governor said his administration has either completed or is working on projects in the council area in different sectors of the economy. He ordered that he has set up a technical committee for the conversion of Kafangchang campus of Kaduna State University to State University of Science and Technology. Governor Yero also reeled out a long list of rural electrification projects under construction and promised to do more if he emerges victorious in the February election. Meanwhile, Yero, ahead of the elections, has distributed 25 14-seater buses to convert students from their homes to schools at subsidized rate. The buses, which the governor says cost 149 million naira, were bought under the subsidy reinvestment and empowerment program Shopi. Speaking at the distribution of the buses, Yero said it was one of several efforts being put in place by his administration to improve the standard of education of the state.
What I mean, if you remember the Shuapi, the Keke Natep, the buses and taxis that we have given of 50% subsidy is the product. The reform that we are getting gradually is the product that will make this scheme as a revolving scheme. So this money is not coming back to the state account, but we have a dedicated account that any cover that we receive from that proceed, we intend to recirculate it back to the community. So these buses, the 25 buses that you have seen, which we are going to give them out today, is the refund that we have gotten, and then we decided to buy this. And we'll continue in this manner until the entire money is eroded.
The governorship candidate of the All Progressives Congress in Kaduna State, Nasser El-Rufai, says he's sure he will be inheriting a bankrupt state if elected into office. Speaking in an interactive session put together by the organized private sector in the state, El-Rufai pointed out that the state has a debt profile of about 106 billion naira. According to him, most of the monies received or generated are regularly used to settle debts, stressing that about 700 billion naira had been wasted in the past 7 years in the state. On his plans for Kaduna State, the APC governorship candidate says he will develop human capital and pay higher salaries to teachers. He also promised free and compulsory 9 years of basic education for all children of school age. El-Rufai again reaffirmed that he would not embark on demolition exercise, but noted that if a member of the elites decide to put up a structure in the wrong location, it would be pulled down. As the 2015 general elections draw near, the need for stakeholders to efficiently deliver their specific roles has again come to fore. Hence, a sensitization program between the Ekiti State Police Command and the Nigerian Bar Association to further equip the police on how to manage pre-election, election and post-election period. Rashid completes the story.
Conduct of elections cannot be overemphasized, but discharging their duties within the ambit of the law is also vital. As directed by the Inspector General of Police, the Ekiti State Police Command and the Nigerian Bar Association put together a sensitization program ahead of the general elections.
Conduct of elections, however, has remained a challenge to many countries, including Nigeria, due to its attendant consequences on national security. The conduct of elections could either strengthen or man the political stability of the nation.
Speakers dwell on the role of the police during public outings and campaigns by politicians and admonish them to keep abreast of the laws guiding their operations during elections.
The presence of the police at every political processions or rallies has been and will continue to be indispensable. I therefore urge the police to be impartial in maintaining public order. I also urge all Nigerians not to put law into their hands ahead of this 2015 election.
Police can and should arrest any person breaking or attempting to break the law on election day. They should also diligently investigate such cases, and if a good case has been made out against the suspect, transfer the offender to the appropriate authorities.
Other participants at the seminar also advised on post-election attitude.
Accept the legitimate results of elections as the will of the people. And those contestants too must also learn to accept that public office is a call to service.
We're battle ready for the election, and that everything that is necessary will be done to ensure that everybody's rights is protected and seen to be protected.
With barely 2 weeks to the general elections, political observers say a forum like this will enhance the smooth conduct of the polls. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ado-Ekiti.
The Nigerian Army is assured that adequate security would be provided to ensure a peaceful, credible and transparent election. The commander of the 4th Brigade Nigerian Army Benin, Olajide Laleye, disclosed this to journalists shortly after he assumed duty as a new brigade commander. He said the army is apolitical and will continue to pride itself in professionalism. Laleye, who was until his deployment to Benin, the director of Army Public Relations, reiterated that security will be intensified across the state to ensure the safety of lives and property. The report.
More than 50 soldiers participated in the farewell ceremony for the outgoing commander, Frederick Azinta, and also welcomed the new brigade commander, Olajide Laleye.
Intensify its efforts. It will also continue the very credible activities of the previous command to make sure that the state is rid of criminalities and criminals. We will do our job professionally, and by the end of my tenure, I hope that the state will also know that a professional has come here, just like the previous man, who was very professional. He's a professional infantry officer, and so am I. In fact, he's my cosmate.
Azinta admonished the officers and men of the 4th Brigade to uphold professionalism and be impartial in their conduct during operations, especially the forthcoming election.
Card-carrying members of any political party. Our job is to provide a level playing ground by way of a secured environment for these elections to be conducted in a very, very professional and impartial manner. If you do so, the Almighty God will bless you. The Nigerian nation will applaud you. And you will be happy with yourself that you have done your job and done it well.
The soldiers later gave him the 3 Hearts chairs as he departed for his new assignment as a director of military training Nigeria Defense Academy in Kaduna.
It's CoreTV Primetime News. We'll take another break and be back with business, sports and stories outside Nigeria. Stay with us.
Which person can you carry? And we now for MTN Catch Quiz.
You see the look? Plenty people don't they win 10 million naira every week and 1 million naira every day. To win, just dial *170# for free and correct a who go with you. Whether that TV, generator or phone, you fit win all for free every day.
MTN, everywhere you go.
Welcome back. It's still CoreTV Primetime News. Now to business. The Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, says excess volatility in exchange rates creates uncertainty and risk for economic agents and has devastating effects on macro economies. Represented by Jibrin Moses, Director, Monetary Policy Department, while speaking at a 3-day National Treasury Workshop organized by Office of the Accountant General of the Federation on Tuesday in Abuja, it says that maintaining relatively stable exchange rate was critical for both internal and external balance and growth of the economy. According to him, another key challenge to the indirect implementation of monetary policy is the unreliability of forecast for fiscal revenue and expenditure, adding that this is largely attributed to volatile oil output and price, which is the major contributor of fiscal revenues. The statement says fiscal operations become largely responsible to traditional liquidity management approaches, while the state of the existing payment system infrastructure is another challenge to liquidity management in Nigeria. He ordered that CBN was developing an appropriate macroeconomic policy coordination platform that would ensure that government's cash management was consistent with the CBN's overall liquidity management. Godwin Emefiele, the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, said on Tuesday he would not allow the Nigeria to float freely because it would lead to major depreciation of the currency. A weaker currency would affect the purchasing power and economy of Nigeria, he said in a business conference in Lagos. The naira closed at 192 naira 10 kobo, a new record low against the US dollars on Tuesday. Emefiele said the central bank will continue to see how best to moderate naira pressures, noting that Nigeria imports almost everything it consumes, which ruled out allowing the naira to float. The governor told the conference that the central bank will intensify its vigilance in the forex market in order to curb speculation and also to determine when to intervene. The African Union AU has signed a memorandum of understanding with China to jointly develop the continent's modern railway system, aviation and road infrastructure for faster economic growth and regional integration. The MOU was signed on Tuesday in Addis Ababa at the merging of 2063 agenda of AU Commission aimed at establishing speed rail system in all major cities across Africa. The chairperson of the Commission, Dlamini Zuma, signed on behalf of the AU, and Zhang Ming, special convoy of the Chinese government, signed for China. The MOU is on continental transport, high-speed railway, aviation, road, highways, and industrialization infrastructure. Oil prices studied above $48 a barrel on Tuesday, recovering from earlier losses as the dollar weakened against the euro. Brent crude oil futures rose 22 cents to $48.38 a barrel. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures rose 10 cents to $45.25 a barrel. The euro rose for a second day against the dollar after an 11-year low on Monday. Prices were also supported after the Secretary General of the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, Abdullah Al-Badri, said oil prices may have bottomed out. He warned of a jump of oil price to $200 a barrel if investment in new supply was too low. He was referring to a rise in Brent's open interest in the past few weeks. And now let's join Sabina Izubu for Stock Market Report.
CoreTV News Stock Market Report is brought to you by MTN.
MTN, everywhere you go.
Hello there and welcome to the Stock Market Report segment with me, Sabina Izuku. The equities market on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange closed on a positive note today as the Nigerian All-Shares Index appreciated to 0.27% to close at 29,859.06 basis points. The market capitalization increased to close at 9.94 trillion naira. In all, a total volume of 468.18 million units of shares, valued at 4.6 billion naira, were exchanged in 4,346 deals. On the gainers side, Prescott topped the gainers chart to close at 32 naira 66 kobo with 1 naira 55 kobo gain, followed by Okumo Oil, PZ, Cousin, Flour Mill, and Stanbic IBTC. On the flip side, Nestle topped the charts, trailed by MRS, 40 Oil, Con Oil, and 7-Up. Meanwhile, Fidelity Bank topped the traders' charts, followed by Axis Bank, Diamond Bank, First Bank Nigerian Holdings, and Unilever. Just before we wrap up the stock market report, here's the currency trade for today.
CoreTV News Stock Market Report is brought to you by MTN.
MTN, everywhere you go.
Thank you so much, Sabina. We'll take another break and be back with sports. Stay with us.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website, www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then news. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
And now, sports stories. Former Super Eagles goalkeeper Wilfred Agbo Navbare has lost the battle against cancer after passing away early on Tuesday morning at the age of 48. Wilfred returned to Spain from the USA, where he has been receiving treatment, and over the weekend, Spanish La Liga side Rayo Vallecano showed their support for their ex-shortstopper with a banner urging him to be strong. Fans of his former club, Rayo, where he spent 6 seasons, did their very best for his children to be flown from Nigeria to Spain to see him before his demise. However, his 3 children didn't make it to Spain before his death this morning due to paperwork and bureaucratic steps. A Nation Cup winner with Nigeria in 1994, he also was deputy goalkeeper to Peter Rufai at the World Cup same year. He started his club career at local Nigeria side, New Nigeria Bank, from where he moved to Brentford in England before crossing to Spain to join Rayo Vallecano and quit football a year later. Head of coach of Dolphins FC, Stanley Eguma, has blamed his team's struggles at the ongoing Nigeria Professional Football League Super 6 tournament on their lack of a cutting edge. The ex-Enyimba coach says that they had better chances against the Dream Team 6 side and could have come out victorious if they took all their chances in front of the opponent's sticks. The Pride of Rivers narrowly lost 1-0 to the Dream Team at the Abuja National Stadium on Monday evening, but the coach was satisfied with the performance of his boys. Veteran goalkeeper Rotimi Sunday made another blunder in 2 days, and the coach was quick to say that the club would recruit a good goalkeeper and keep the experienced goalminder. He, however, promised that they shall be back to the league and the CAF Confederation Cup with a better team that will live up to expectation. And now, stories outside Nigeria. Bullets hit a passenger jet operated by budget carrier Dubai Aviation Corps, known as Fly Dubai, as it was landing at Baghdad Airport. And aviation and a security official on Tuesday said 2 passengers were lightly injured when 3 or 4 bullets hit the body of the plane, but were unable to specify the source of the gunfire. Fly Dubai Emirates Airlines, Arabia and Abu Dhabi Airlines suspended flights following the incident in line with a directive from the United Arab Emirates Civil Aviation Authority. The investigation is underway. The aviation official said Iraq had briefly suspended air traffic following the incident, but the most flights had, however, resumed. One person was killed by a car bomb packed near a police station by suspected militants in the Egyptian city of Alexandria early on Tuesday. The attack also wounded 2 people, but there were no immediate details about the identity of the victims. Security sources also said that unknown assailants had attacked a police station in western Alexandria with Molotov cocktails, setting it alight but causing no casualties. On Sunday, about 25 people were killed in anti-government demonstrations on the anniversary of the 2011 uprising that hosted Hosni Mubarak. Activists accused President Abdel al-Sisi of the trouble going on in that city. Islamic militants have killed hundreds of policemen and soldiers since Sisi overthrew Morsi of the Muslim Brotherhood in 2013. A law enacted during Sisi's rule severely restricted demonstrations dramatically, reducing unrest in Egypt. And just before we go, a recap of our major headlines. The Independent National Electoral Commission meets with leadership of all registered political parties on its preparations for next month's election. Also in this program, we brought to you a report that Lagos State Governor Babatunde Fashola vows to vote with his temporary voter card at the February 2015 elections. You also heard from us that the popular Pan-Yoruba social cultural group Afenifere endorses President Goodluck Jonathan for a second term in office. That's our show for tonight. It was nice having you stay on till the end. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of our programs. I am Gef.